Hey YouTube, how's it going? In this episode, I'll be speaking on Borderlands 3 and giving my impressions and thoughts as an outsider to the series. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that there'll be no story spoilers, as all of my footage are from side quests, although there may be some areas shown that are from the late game. So take that into consideration before watching. Borderlands 3 is the third mainline game in Gearbox's Borderlands series. In simple terms, it's a first-person shooter featuring wacky characters and lots of guns. My history with Borderlands goes back a fair way, playing split-screen Borderlands 2 on my friend's Xbox 360, probably around 2014. Then in 2018, when I bought my first PC, I bought Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel as some of my first games as they were on a deep sale. I played a few hours of each, but never picked them up again. I bought Borderlands 3 when it released, and I played for around 10 to 15 hours before moving on. I always had a positive attitude towards the series, and over the past few years, I've started multiple Borderlands 3 playthroughs, but I just wasn't able to get hooked. Since starting this playthrough, I've heard from some people that they find the introduction to be one of the worst in the series, which might have been a contributing factor to this. However, with the release of Borderlands 4 coming up, I decided to give Borderlands 3 another shot. I didn't anticipate making a video on this game, as I just wanted to play while watching League of Legends MSI. However, I got super hooked and played all the way through pretty quickly. This is why the gameplay is only from after the completion of the story. I want to start with gameplay, as I think this game has a core gameplay loop that I found to be ridiculously fun and engaging. The gunplay is great and never gets boring, as every gun feels so different and you're always changing weapons to keep up with your current level. And the constant chase for new legendary weapons is super addicting. Again, I've seen online that one major criticism of Borderlands 3 is the amount of legendaries that drop, and I honestly completely agree. After the first few hours of the game, there were not many points where I didn't have mostly legendary weapons equipped. This meant that throughout the story, I completely ignored all other tiered loot except legendary, and I quickly scanned over some of the purples. I would have much rather a system where legendaries felt more special, and I was forced to use blue or even green guns throughout the story. This wasn't a deal breaker for me though. I just felt like it was a bit of a missed opportunity. I still had so much fun in every instance of gameplay, and I always found myself looking forward to the next fight and the next potential loot drop. I'll only speak briefly on the story, as it's not totally my cup of tea. I thought it was fine early on, but as the story progresses, it gets more insane, with a lot of unskippable dialogue playing throughout most of the game. It got pretty tiring, so after a while I just turned down the volume, listened to YouTube videos, and enjoyed the gameplay. I played on an RTX 5080 in 4K, and I had no troubles with performance except for very low res textures when I'd first boot up the game or when I was fast traveling between planets. I didn't experience any glitches or crashes either, so no complaints here from me. I've always been a huge fan of Borderlands cel-shaded graphics, and it's one of the main reasons I would always start new playthroughs, even if I never finished them. For Borderlands 3 specifically, Gearbox made a relatively simple graphic style look outstanding and one of the most visually pleasing games of its time. I loved the level design here. Every level, and section in every level, was unique and allowed for all the weapon types to be useful. One of my favorite things about the level design was the verticality and all of the secret areas you could access that either led to chests or just a great view. I never found myself annoyed at the level design, which I can't honestly say about many other FPS games. I really enjoyed my time in these levels, and it just makes me even more excited for Borderlands 4. I found the difficulty to be very easy for the whole story, never getting stuck on any section and breezing through pretty much everything. This definitely changed once I unlocked Mayhem mode, which I'm currently playing on still, doing side activities. I'm having a much harder time killing enemies, and I'm only on Mayhem 1. I'll need more time to fully evaluate how I feel about the game on Mayhem mode, but it's just okay for now. There is so much to do in Borderlands 3. I've only just completed the story, but there's so much more to do after you finish, like True Vault Hunter mode and all of the Mayhem difficulties that I just can't talk about in this video. Now that I've finished the game, the one thing that I can't get out of my head is how annoyed I am that I never experienced the addicting gameplay earlier. This playthrough has made me 10 times more excited for Borderlands 4's upcoming release, and I'll be sure to make a video on it then. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe stick around for my next video, hopefully coming soon. Catch you next time.